apply multiple registration, you didn't do the multiple registrations, prove that, okay, or you didn't file those things. You had to take a responsibility for any of those things. When when the employer started getting the notice, right, notice to intent to deny, then that's where the employers got really worried about it. So because practically they did apply a lot of them. Obviously they didn't send it to randomly to everybody. They are telling, you guys don't even believe, a lot of those notices which we received is, we can even see they went to the background of the employer itself,
Oh,
employer's personal life. So when I'm talking about the employer, let's say employer business is one thing. Business is the one who applied the employee, the H1Bs, but the employer history, like, employer, when he got his permanent residency, employer, when he got his citizenship, and this is the person, they went to their naturalization or permanent resident applications to look at it, who is the spouse, who is the mother, father of the employer. So they have the multiple companies with other family members, how they applied through their companies. So it was so very deeper investigation. They're not just looking at the face of that particular
problem.
business.
Yeah.
They're also looking the chain of your friends, families, how the blood relations and everything is there, and they're putting all that history in the notice of intent to deny.
Wow.
When they started digging that, that's where I think the community started realizing that it is actually affecting it's going to affect the H1Bs, which is already approved. So what happened is two things happened after that. Is one thing is, I think it's happened towards the Christmas last year, which is December. So not a lot of them happened. Probably like 5 to 10% notice of intent to deny came by the end of the December.
Mhm.
People started realizing, smaller companies especially, they got really worried and scared. They went and instead of sending the response to the notice to intent to deny, they just immediately withdraw the petition. Okay,
Oh, okay.
they not only withdraw the petition, where the notice of intent to deny came to that particular H1B petition, they should have withdrawn only that H1B petition. But they got so scared, they got even the other H1B which got approved through that company, even though you didn't get the notice of intent to deny, they went ahead and withdraw all those H1B petitions because they're so worried that they may get the notices to them also. That's one of the immediate action happened to a lot of smaller companies, which are not aware of a lot of regulations, and which probably either attorneys or they ignore the attorneys that you're not supposed to do the multiple registrations, and they done it. So that's something immediately happened. So even though it was happened in December little bit, but it didn't come into effect until the later this year, for the petitions it's got approved last year. But in the meantime, what happened is from January to February is a lot of the IT consulting companies, they look for the new H1Bs again,
Mhm.
who they want to file and everything. And they keep their list ready, and they filed this March, which is this happened this early this year, which is March. So they went and filed the multiple registrations because it was not popular, that news at that time. So after they did the multiple registrations this year, and then the news started coming more, hey, you done so many applications last year and this much is fraud. And then by the end of the March, we do have the numbers, right? We have about 600,000 applications, for which
Yeah.
is 70,000 applications H1Bs available. We have over 600,000 applications. Out of them, USCIS started putting the list of how many are multiple registrations, how many are duplicates, all those kind of the things. As you also see, you can even Google recently, even last week also, they started putting the list of the companies they disbarred, or who they disqualified based on the multiple registrations, or they caught the fraud. They have all these things available already in the Google. So anyway, this was the multiple registrations was happened last year and this year more, not on the first year, last year and this year more. But this year people got alerted only after they filed,
Yeah.
because of the effect of the approval notices happened last year.
Yeah.
So when we actually got approved in March, all these people, then again people got worried because they think that they're doing fraud finally, right?
Mm.
So they, even though they got registered and they got approved with the registration, they didn't file the H1Bs. That's why we have the second lottery now,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are worried that they couldn't able to, they thought that if they file, they get into the fraud again. So that's what happened. Suggestion from me, obviously don't do it. It says very clearly that you're not supposed to do it. I mean, it's, you have to keep it as a fair chance, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep the same candidate applying multiple people for the same job. I mean that, but that doesn't shouldn't be stopping. Like, let's say the Google has an opening and the Microsoft has an opening, for the same job, and they both want this candidate so badly. They both want to apply. Yes, they can apply if it is a fair chance, but they shouldn't be having the collusion. That's what it is important.
So the basic thing is the employees should not collude. They should not have the common knowledge. This guy,
Yeah.
whether we get through him or not, like that. So here, independently, without the knowledge, employers file. That is a different case.
Exactly, yeah.
So
But
yeah,
we
it is
should be
really,
colluding, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, it's really alarming, and it is a lesson for, I hope, our consulting companies will take the lesson from this, and not inviting new risks to their personal history of the whole company. I
It's
hope,
not worth it. It's
yeah.
not worth it. I mean, that obviously, it's a criminal violation, and it's a perjury under the law, and you are signing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really worth it.
Yep. And so let's take on this is the employment one. Let's go on to F1 students. So right now, actually, a lot of students last 2-3 years, if you see that, a lot of students are coming from, especially out of 100, 80 are coming from 2 states. If you see the data, and these students,
Mhm.
going through the consulting groups, and they are getting the uh, I-20, these ones, and they are coming here, and they are getting rejected also in the customs. There we have seen so many cases. So what's your solution basically? Because if these kids, they pay money there and they come over here, and these colleges are not not recognized colleges, so what's your suggestion on this for the students especially?
See, that's the thing, right? The whole culture changed so much. I know what 2 states you're talking about. We are very aware of those 2 states, and it's become a huge business, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Education and empowerment is very, very important. What exactly you're trying to do here right now. We are all selflessly working on this kind of the things,
Mm-hmm.
you know. We don't have any motive behind that. But people who has a motive making money behind all this kind of the things, they don't care about regulations. That's what you have to think about it first. Getting the right education is very, very important. Getting to the America is one thing. I mean that we spent so much money, we did this, we did that. Oh, we thought that we're going to come to America. What happened in last month? Everybody, they stopped right at the airport. I mean that you have high hopes that you're going to come to America. You packed up everything, you came, but the CBP stopped you not to come into the US. So I mean that we see the multiple things. It's the same thing with the Farmington before last a couple
Yeah.
of years ago.
Yep.
So it's nothing new. Even the 21 students, they stopped last month and the airport and they sent back. That's not new anything. That happened multiple times before
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So, so this is a repetition of the thing. Sometimes every 2 years, every 3 years, so immigration kind of like screws up a little bit. The regulations tighten up a little bit. They look into back into that how things are happening. So just because you got a visa, it doesn't mean that you're going to enter into the US. So there's a multiple departments. I mean, that people also started blaming that why did they give the visa if they don't let us come into the US, right? So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we are dealing with the three different departments here: Department of Homeland Security, Department of State at the consulate, and the Department of I mean the Border Control, CBP at the airport. So it's a multiple people, and everybody has their own requirements. Just because you got one approved, it doesn't mean the other person get approved. But it is important for yourself to look at it. Are you meeting everybody's requirements before you come there? Who is going to educate you all those things? The consulates, I mean that consulting companies are not educating you that one because they're not even themselves are not aware, or they're hiding whatever the reason is. It is right. I'm not saying everybody is like that. But I mean that if everybody can think of doing the fair business, they should be educating the community and the public in the right way. That's a
Yes.
fair way.
Yes. Yes.
No? So they are taking their money, obviously. So if a lot of the parents, when I went to India, they're talking to me saying that, oh, we spend so much money for the consulting companies. We paid for all this. My kids worked for the GRE, GMAT, and all those things, but they couldn't able to come. You don't have to pay for anybody. When I came as a student, I didn't go anywhere to pay for anybody. You do your research, you come, you do the things. But obviously things become easier now. Yes, you depend on the people, but you have to do your own research too. I mean, that is that a right school or no is something. It's available online. There is so many resources legally you can check that is that university is the right thing or no. Of course, that like a Farmington, you can't tell ahead of the time. It looks everything is fine. Obviously, that's a sting operation that immigration done
Yeah.
that.
That's yeah.
So things like that will happen. I'm not saying no, but there is also behind so much. We know that who is behind all that, how it happened, and how it got colluded. There
Yep.
is easily it should have been spread ahead of the time that people knows behind that this is something like this happening. But everybody try to hide it for their own business reason.
Yep. Yep.
And I mean that how do we stop this is something, it's very basic level. Everybody has to take responsibility for themselves to do their own research.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, you're paying for somebody. Yes, but they're not the experts. They're not the lawyers.
Yep.
See, if you're coming to me and if I'm not giving the right answer, I should worry about my license. I can't take risk of my license. What is the consulting company is taking a risk of it? What is
Yep.
the authority they have? You have to think about their authority. How can they give that information to you?
Yep. And also they can verify whether the universities are there, state accreditation in Google, if they can
Exactly.
research that
Exactly.
one and
There's a lot of
verify. Yeah.
websites, higher education websites are there. Are
Yeah.
they qualify? Lot of the universities, just because you got graduated from them,
Yeah.
you don't qualify for the H1B master's cap. Even to qualify, even though you did the masters in the US, you don't qualify for the H1B master's cap unless you are the accredited university. So what is that means? At that time, you don't have really a lot of value for your masters coming to the US. You're spending a lot of money and time.
Mhm.
Then you realize that it's not a recognized university.
Yep. And also one more unfortunate thing here, and we are also helping through the nonprofit, and you are also helping in so many cases for the F1 students. Unfortunately, they are involving in misdemeanors cases. So what's the impact on their visas and all those things? If the person is involved with those cases, how it impacts them? Because we need to make them aware. So what's your point on that?
So, I mean that you may be talking on somebody who are on non-immigrant visa, right? Especially on
Like
the
misdemeanors cases like trespassing, shoplifting, petty thefts, drug, assault, or some.
especially that's what I mean. Like you're talking more specifically to somebody who has a non-immigrant visa, like
Yes,
H1B visa,
non-immigrant visa.
student visas, and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and once you have involved in any of those cases, so automatically you are referred to the obviously you have some kind of the police report, which is going to be directly going to the county court or something like that, which they have interrelated to the, obviously they have to update to the ICE. So if you're in the county jail, if you happen to be end up going to the county jail, the ICE is automatically take over you, which is a possibility, high possibility of the deportation, unless you don't find as a guilty.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's very important that our people not to involve in these cases. That's very positively we tell them that don't involve, even for fun also don't do these kind of things. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, yeah, identity theft has become such a common for a lot of students, and that's really, really bad, social securities, driver's licenses,
yeah,
and yeah, it's at a different level. And I don't know why we come to that point, but it is really bad,
really
and
bad. Yeah,
deportation, and obviously you may be never coming back, you know.
yep,
Um, and the waivers are very hard to come back for these kind of things once you get deported.
yep. So
We saw multiple those cases during the
yep.
Farmington cases.
No, I dealt almost 10 cases the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So there is a quick question for from Kajal. So can we have EAD for J2 visa? If so, can we have priority processing for the same?
Who's that? I didn't see that. Where is it?
Yeah, here can we have EAD for J2 visa? And if so, can we have priority processing for the same?
Oh, not the priority thing, but EAD is available for the J2s. Yeah.
Okay. So
And I think there is a Talib. If a Canadian enters the US on a TN visa to work for an American employer, what are the possible pathway to turning the visa into a green card? Are there risks? There are no risks, but the TN can directly convert to green card, but the employer can, just like on the H1B or anything, employer can file for him the I-140, the perm process, and they can get the green card based on that. But you have to think that is he a Canadian citizen or he is a Canadian born? So if he's just a Canadian citizen, doesn't mean anything unless he born in Canada. But if he's still Indian born and a Canadian citizen, he could get the TN and continues to work on the TN until he gets his green card. But the green card priority date is based on India, not Canada.
okay. So yeah, I think these are this one, and one more very important one. Actually, right now we are going through. I know that you are founder for Shakti US organization. Um, that's very good for to help the abusive family abusive things, and here very unfortunate situation here for our Indian community here. What we are facing is here lot of diverse cases, not only diverse cases, domestic violence cases. We told you number of also we have been going through these things. Like I don't want to mention the names. Here in Orlando itself, there is a case where wife is on H4, husband is on H1, and they have a small kid. And now they did not, she is in India right now. She don't know what to do. This guy don't take care of her and he don't file for the anything. He don't want to support the kid. He don't want to do that one. And these kind of situations, H4, what are the options they have actually? Because H4 also not renewed. She cannot come over here too. And he don't want to renew. These are the some cases. Some cases, H4 EAD, if they have, they don't renew. Husband don't renew it. So these cases also there. What do you suggest on these actually?
Oh yeah. Well, there's nothing much can be done on the dependent visa, especially when they are outside the country, right?
Yeah.
If they are in the country, that's where we help as a Shakti. We could help in providing the resources or immigration benefits, what's available, um, based on abuse files and stuff like that. If we do have some kind of either proof through the police reports or even as simple as a statement affidavit from the survivor can be helpful to get the benefits out of it. If they're outside the country, that's kind of little challenging sometimes, because you only follow the regulations when you're in the land of the law. When they're outside the country, obviously United States don't have any jurisdiction, and even with the immigration benefits, nothing she can claim from there. So obviously she has to deal with the courts in India wherever she is in.
Mhm.
And yes, unfortunately, it's become such a common thing in the community, and I mean that. Again, the awareness and education, be prepared with a lot of things, and having awareness is very important. And last time when I was in India, I done a lot of interviews with the TVs, especially telling the parents and the families to be prepared too first. You don't be hurry up and just sending out from the houses and from the country. You're
Yeah.
excited, you're spending so much money, you're doing so much planning for all these weddings. And as much as you planned, the weddings are not even lasting for the days you plan for the wedding also. I'm not
Even
just
three
say
months,
that I'm
even within 3 months, it's happening in diverse cases.
not judging any particular person or anything. As you know that I'm a big passionate for all these things, and I'm advocating for these things, and that's why I started the Shakti, especially. And we don't have any similar organization, especially in Florida and growing population in the Central Florida area. It's needed and urged for me to start the Shakti.
Mhm.
And I'll be very honest, being I know there's only few people left here, but I hope people take seriously and take it to the next level. Indians in general, this is my frustration, take it.
Mhm.
And Indians in general, we are very overreactive for a lot of things. Obviously, we are very humanitarian people, we are very educated people. We are very humanitarian people. We are very good with the religious things. We are very good with the health needs. We
Mhm.
are we are very reactive for a lot of things. But when it comes to social causes, because we don't see the effect right away, right? The person who is going through the abuse has to go through multiple things for the rest of their life. Abuse is something, it affects not only the person who are going through that, but also the kids and the rest of the family also.
Yep.
These kind of things, it's very hard for the Indians to invest their time. I'm not even talking about the money at this point. I'm very serious about this. I'm not even asking money of anybody. I'm asking time. Let's say Shakti Gala is coming this next week, or there is an empowerment session coming next month, or something like that. I just want the people to show up,
Yep.
not for yourself. Educate yourself to educate others.
Yep.
you know it's not easy. I mean that even to have something organization like this, I got discouraged a lot from the
Mm.
community, saying that, oh, there is nothing like abuse in the Indian community, we are very educated, we don't do this kind of things. But these are the people who actually done these things in the community. They have a shame to talk about it. There is nothing like this existing. And we get multiple calls for the Shakti every day,
Oh
either
yeah.
for the seeking for a shelter,
Yep.
seeking for the legal help, or seeking for the some kind of the food. Even during the COVID, the people seeking for the home, because they couldn't sit in the same house where the abuser is there. So,
Yep.
and this is the reality. Just because we don't want to accept, just because it's not happening in our own house, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. And it is important to talk about it. Even if you don't want to talk about it, listen about it. And maybe just extend that. Even just saying that somebody said about their problem, just say that Shakti is available, that itself is enough for somebody.
Yep.
You don't have to do any help for them. So things like that. And what you said, Srinivara, is like, it's true. And the divorce rate is very high, abuse rate is very high. And Indians in general, we don't report these things, but it is important to report. And more than anything, kids are affected with all these
Yep.
things.
Family affecting. Yeah. It's all.
Kids, they're so little, they don't know anything about these relationships.
Yep.
They're affected for the rest of their life, and we should invest on this. We should think about it, what is
Sure.
the best for this.
Sure.
And I hope we could all think about it, what's right. And I continue to advocate on this. As an attorney, I feel it's very, very important for me to work towards the human rights.
Madhuri garu, our CFIC goal is like that the same way. The CFIC we formed help each other within the Indian community and help the local communities. CFIC goal is only for this purpose. This is a very social, service oriented one. So definitely we are going to partnership with you, especially on these issues. So CFIC is going to extend the wholehearted support, 100% support to, Shakti US. Definitely.
It doesn't have to be any business or marketing. All I want to know is everybody should know what Shakti is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
If anybody needs any help, just tell them that go, because I raise so much money every year. I raise so much money every year, and I have money sitting there. I want to help the people.
Yes.
But I'm not saying that everybody has to call me 24/7. But if there is a need, there is a help there.
That's what.
And you don't have to worry about it. That's all I wanted to say. And right now we are actively seeking the employee for the Shakti if anybody is willing and able to work. It's a paid job, obviously. That's other way to be involved.
Yep. And also, I think, I know this time is already 15 minutes crossed for the scheduled time, but we are going to have one more session after, 1 month with the same immigration on this issue. And also, we are planning with the next October 15th with attorney on wills and trust and the estate law, especially. So
yeah, Hashi is a good friend of me, and
yeah,
she is definitely expert in the wills and estates. And I think that that's the other topic where the Indians we
yeah,
should be getting more education and be aware. I know it costs little money to put those things, but it is important to have those things so we can have a better plan for our family and leave the better solutions for them.
okay, yeah, sure. So with this, if anybody having any questions, any questions, please put here. And so thank you so much, Madhuri garu. You came recently. You returned from India. I know you have a very hectic schedule, even though we requested you, to have this session. So thanks for your help.
Sorry, I was a little sick. I was sneezing all the way, but sorry.
No problem, no problem. So
Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah.
so thank you all
Thanks,
for
Madhurima garu.
joining. Yeah.
Thank you,
Srinivas, I
Madhu.
just
Thank you,
want to add one
Srini.
more thing. I want to add one more thing, Madhurima garu and Srinivas.
Please.
I think our community, especially, I know we are chala mandiki when we are getting a lot of GoFunds. A lot of people think some are scams or some are fraud.
Yeah.
I think especially I think through CFIC or Shakti or whatever, we should tell everyone at least to take some kind of a insurance policy, life insurance, whether it might be term or whatever it is.
Yep.
They should cover themselves instead of depending on GoFund, because
Yes.
a lot of people are getting overwhelmed with GoFund and no one, I mean, of course they contribute, but it's like a small amount, like $50, $100 or per person, whatever. So I think we should little bit push everyone, every person, whoever is on H1 green card or whatever, on the importance of insurance, because our Indians neglect insurance thing most of the time.
Yep. So thank you, Ramesh garu. That is a very good, important point, actually. That's where the CFIC, generally in these chat groups, we don't allow any of the flyers or those GoFunds because everybody puts that. But our community, local community, our community needs to hold this Mukesh case That is the reason only we put the GoFund with our groups actually. So far, we did not allow anybody. So only because of Mukesh, our own community member, we added.
No, that's okay. I mean, we know it's a genuine case.
I got your
yeah.
point. I got your point about, encourage Indians to take the responsibility for their families by enrolling into the life insurance. So CFIC is going to make a 1 month campaign. 1 month campaign with all around our people, our community, making sure that they enroll into the life insurance privately or through the employer. So we are trying to find out the way to reach out to the community, and a 1 month campaign we are going to call, just next to your door. Please check with your next neighbor, our Indian neighbor, whether they enrolled it or not. And we are going to collect the data also, not to publish, but whether they enrolled it or not. So that's an important task we are going to take actually.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Srinivas Garu, this is Kishore. In the same aspect, if we can reach out some insurance companies where we can get the discount, like either 100K term insurance or 200K, some limit of term insurance at a discounted rates, so that we can actually communicate to the community that this is only $50 a month or even less than that month, so you can afford.
Yes, Kishore Garu, thank you. That's what we are finding some, we are doing some research on that one. So to find out, to recommend through the community, how they can give some discounts also. So in future, we are going to come up with a plan. So with that, anybody having any questions? Otherwise, we will close this session. We all pray for, Mukesh, some miracle happens and, Mukesh health gets better. Let's hope for that. And we request everybody, please keep in your prayers for that family and help them, so whatever way you can. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Srinivas, for meeting the family today. Thank you very much. If you need anything, please let us know.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks, Madhurima Garu.
Thanks, Madhurima Garu.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, no problem.
So we are closing this session. Thank you.